through an exclusive interview. ASOT, A State of Trance.
Hey, what's up, and welcome to a new 10 Questions with, and this week we have another royalty here in the studio, the owner and also the man behind Skullduggery Recordings, and he's releasing a new compilation this week. It's called The Art of Skullduggery Volume 2. We're going to ask you everything about that, and of course your questions as well, Mr. Greg Downey.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm great, man. Glad to be back. Loving it.
Are you ready for these questions?
Yeah, I asked you.
They're not that bad. I just had a look at them, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I'm up for it. Let's go.
Let's dive into it. Alex V wants to know, tell us something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself. Oh my God. I'm heavily into Thai boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I train most days. Not always Thai boxing, but maybe do that 3 times a week and do lots of other training and other bits and bobs. So that would be my other passion aside from music.
What is the TV series that you're watching right now? The Netflix series?
I don't watch TV, really.
No, at all?
No, very, very rarely. I'm one of those guys, I sit down and watch something and I'd fall asleep. Actually, tell a lie, I started watching Gangs of London yesterday.
Is it good?
Well, John Askew said it's incredible and I have to watch it. And someone else said that I should do a cameo in it, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Well, if the boss says it's good, you have to watch it, right?
Yeah, so Gangs of London. Yeah.
Next one, Ferris540 wants to know, what is your most memorable show you ever played?
My most memorable show? Good question, actually. I would probably say it was one of my first ever breakthrough gigs. Back in the day when I played, actually Armin was on the gig too. It was at the Gallery in Durmills. And it was my first big show in London. And I was playing last after.
So before it was Ministry of Sound?
Yeah, it was at the Gallery at Durmills.
Yeah.
And I was coming on at 6 a.m. And 6 a.m. you'd think, Jesus, it's over by then, but it was
packed.
Yeah, so I think I came on after. There was Armin, Paul van Dyk, Judge Jules, Sifter Bliss, and someone else.
It's not a bad lineup.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
How nervous were you playing after these legends, basically? You can't remember.
I wasn't actually that nervous. I was more like fired up. You do get a little bit apprehensive, but I was more excited for it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Durmills was such an amazing venue.
One of my favourite clubs ever in the world. It's just the vibe, it was in London, it was underground. The main room only held like maybe 700-800 people, but you had headliners from all over the world playing there,
I only played there. I played it twice, actually. Once upstairs and one in room 2. So I never played in the main room.
And the funny thing was the DJ box was kind of like...
It was leveled with the party people, right? So it's just a little bit higher.
And it was actually in a box with like a cutout thing. And if you went into the room, you kind of get lost. You can't quite work out where the DJ is. And I think that was part of the beauty of it.
Dark, dirty.
Yeah, proper.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
it was a good venue. Gus1010 wants to know, tell us about introducing spoken words into your song and how these ideas come to life.
I think sometimes when you are making instrumental trance tracks, if you want to try and make things stand out or not just be generic, it's good to come up with various different types of vocals which aren't necessarily a song, or different types of samples, or just things which keep things fresh. So,
do you write those yourself?
I haven't done, actually, no. I haven't actually tried writing any vocals as such. No. Just write music and like different sounds and things like that. But it's something I wouldn't mind trying.
Hey, maybe some for 2021, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm always here to test myself. So.
Ben McConnell wants to know, what is your favorite Irish club?
My favorite Irish club? My favorite Irish club, sadly, has just been closed down. It was called The Coach in Banbridge. And that was my favorite club in Northern Ireland by a country mile. It was the first club I ever really played in as a kid, and I was really sad to see that close recently, which is obviously knock-on effects from this COVID thing going on right now. But the Coach in Banbridge, Ireland, was unreal.
What is it with the Irish crowd that makes it so special?
They're all lunatics.
Well, there you go. Hey, I didn't say it, come on.
Irish people are mad.
They really love their party, that's for sure.
Yeah, they do. They live for it.
Trance Cyclopedia wants to know, techno or trance?
I love both. I have come from a trance roots and techno roots, and my sets are very varied. I'm a trance artist, but I love techno music and I love techno influences, and obviously trance is number one. but techno is still
In between everything. That's what you try to do with Skullduggery as well, right?
Yeah, just me as an artist. Like, I don't like to limit myself. I don't like to limit myself within my productions, with the label. You know, I feel it's good to push boundaries and create new things. And if it's great music, techno, progressive, or breaks,
Some breakbeats, nice, yeah.
breaks, trance, I love it. So.
Awesome. Ed the Head 2020 wants to know, in the last 5 years, what has been your most life-changing experience you've had?
Most life-changing.
Good question, Ed.
It's a really good question. Life-changing. Yeah, this is probably a very interesting fact as well, which not many people know. About 4 years ago, I went off and did ayahuasca, which is a plant medicine, which was like a real spiritual sort of experience, and it was like the biggest life-changing moment.
Really?
That's a very in-depth topic to go into, but yeah, it was incredible, and it sort of shaped a lot of what happened then the next 4 years after.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, not many people do, so it's an exclusive.
And I watched a lot of your. This is not one of the questions on here, but I had this question because I watch all these videos of you and John sitting in a car, just talking nonsense all the time.
Yeah.
How do you come up with that stuff?
It's sort of a combination. I mean, there's so many. Me and John are very close. I know we're best friends as well, and obviously we work together. But sometimes we have phone calls and we go, we should have pushed record on this, you know? So sometimes it could be we have like a bullet points of what we're going to talk about or whatever. Or it's just we push record and we just go.
So John Askew, we're talking about John Askew here.
Yeah.
He just released that tune, Tooth Decay, on Tuesday. Are you in there as well? Because that's Chantais is in there.
Yeah, I left some message to him which had a bit of a foul word in it, which he put in the intro.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Okay. MSC Arbaya 798. I'm slaying that name. Sorry for that. Will your upcoming album include the 303 acid sound?
I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, actually, yeah, there is. There's some
acid.
Yeah, there's some acid bits in some of my productions, and there's some really epic 303 acids in some of the new Beatman and LaMilla stuff. Like some of their new singles we have coming up are phenomenal. So yeah, you'll enjoy them.
Nice. FC UK Dead. If you put it a little bit different, it would be different. Can you define trance music and how do you think it's evolved until today? You've been there you've been part of the scene for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, trance for me, when I came through, when I was young, getting into trance music, there was so much variation. You know, there was like progressive, there was like hypnotic sounds, kind of sort of what a lot of the techno.
Everybody was exploring their sounds.
Yeah, it was so experimental. People were using lots of different synths, lots of different stuff. There was vinyl records, you know, every week there was so much scope. And I feel that I try and keep that going with what I'm about or what I'm doing or what I want to push forwards. And that excites me. And I think trance is an amazing genre. I think, you know, I would just maybe recommend new artists who are trying to get into trance. You don't always have to play by the rules. You don't have to play it safe. You don't have to make tracks, just to get played on A State of Trance or to get signed to a label.
But if you try to achieve it, most of the times you achieve the opposite.
Yeah, because you're forcing it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you really tap into being fresh, being creative, and just being unique to yourself, you don't have to totally change the wheel, but you have to be unique. You have to say, okay, you stand for something, and standing for something doesn't have to be limited. It means you can develop within that and progress, and there are no limits. In my head, there is no limits when it comes to great music.
Yeah, we were talking before the show. We were talking about Will Atkinson, his album, "The Last King of Scotland." That's what we need to hear.
Exactly,
fresh sounds, new, something you haven't heard before.
And that's what
I spoke your language when I heard that for the first time. And also last night in the Beats, I was like, wow.
Yeah, but that's why I love Will, because he does exactly what I just said.
Yeah,
you know, and it's fresh. It's still trance. It's still, you know, within the, you know, where we are. But you know, there's other influences. Techno tracks, you know, but it's all meshed together in a way which is really fresh and new and pushing forward. And I think that's what everybody should be doing.
100%, I agree with you. That's a good lesson right there. Ailey Sealand wants to know, which track did you vote for the Tune of the Year this year? Putting you on the spot, sir.
Yeah. It's going to sound biased. It's actually not one of my own, but the track which stood out for me most this year was, John Askew, Tooth Decay on Tuesday.
Yeah, because it's so unique.
Just when I heard that, when I heard There's parts of it aren't my favorite, but when I heard his hook vocal, which he did, it reminded me of like an old sort of Dave Clark style sort of record, and I just thought that is ridiculous. I've told him so many times that's ridiculous. He just says that's what I do.
I remember that I remember when he sent it to me, he was like, "There's some foul words in there. What am I supposed to do with this?" And it's kind of a edgy track. I'm not sure if you're gonna like it. So when I listened to it, I was like, "Dude, this is amazing," but
we need to snip a few.
We need to snip some bits and pieces out of there because not every radio station around the world is gonna like some of the words in there. But I have to agree, that was so unique.
You have the essence of it. I mean, but that's a prime example of, say, still trance foundations. It's broken the rules.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you listen to that, you go, this is what we need. You know, so.
Amen. The last one already. BobbyCovey.list wants to know, describe yourself in 5 words. That's a little bit of a deep question, but...
where do we start? Hardworking, passionate.
That's 2.
Funny at times.
Yeah. 3.
Deep.
4. One more.
And enthusiastic.
There you go. That wasn't that hard.
No, that was it.
I would have a harder time doing that, to be honest. So I'm happy that I didn't get that question.
You always don't like to sort of say words about yourself. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's already. Thank you so much for answering these 10 little questions from our fans. Again, make sure to check out The Art of Skullduggery Volume 2. It's out now. It's a 2-disc CD as well.
Double CD, 1 CD mixed by myself and the other CD mixed by Beatman on the Mill. It's packed full of just ridiculous music. You'll love it.
Make sure to check it out. And next week we're going to be back with another 10 questions with Craig Connolly. If you have any questions for him, you can write them down here in the comment section. See you. Bye-bye.